I thought I'd be able to relate to you guys pretty well because, you know, I just finished up my college career. So kind of, I know you guys talked to my college coach, Coach O'Hagan, last week. So this is going to give you a good idea from both point of views. Where on my side, you know, I'm going to be able to let you know the things that the coach is really looking for and show you the tools that's really, you know, everyone wants to play their freshman year. You know, you get there your freshman year, you want to get onto the field right away, but there's a lot that goes into it. And I think this first thing I got highlighted right here, you'll hear this stuff 1,000 times, or not more than 1,000 times in your career. But I mean, three things that coach is gonna, if you want to get on the field, he's gonna have to trust you, especially as a young guy. Why should he put you in over a guy that's been there for years and he knows that he can trust? And you know, footwork, footwork, footwork. Right now, you guys have an unlimited opportunity to be working on your footwork, and there's really nothing that you can do that's bad for your footwork except for not doing footwork. So not going out. You guys have nothing to really do right now besides,
Mind blowing.
yeah, work on this stuff. Um, and like I said, right now is your chance to make the strides in this area. Same with stick work, and the other thing that I've listed is lacrosse IQ. Wall ball, without a ball, you, as defenseman, it's not only stick work isn't just can you get the ball off the ground and move it up the field. It's can you land your checks? Are you on the hands of the guy that you're guarding? And you know, working on your approaches goes into it with your footwork, but it all comes back to stick work too. And then another thing as a young guy trying to open the eyes of your college coach in your freshman year is going to be like deflecting passes. If you're knocking the ball down all the time and your stick's off your hip, if you play with your stick on your hip and your stick's, you know, below your waist, you're not deflecting passes, and all you get your stick up and you see some guys, they start picking off passes and those cause turnovers, and those are possessions for the offense that are vital in a tight game. And then lacrosse IQ, we have so much time right now to watch film, watch all this stuff on YouTube and Huddle, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have huddles with your schools and stuff. That's like a very good resource to be watching these things right now. But things that go into your IQ for your coach to trust you is your communication, your off-ball play. I'll mention this a few times. Is when we're all like the top tier defensemen coming out of high school, like the number one guy on your team. I'm sure we all are. All you guys are on your high school teams. When you go to the next level, you're no longer the stud. You're 4 years younger, 4 years behind the physical and mental abilities of the guys in the game. So you're not any longer an on-ball defender. You're an off-ball defender, and you haven't done that since maybe your sophomore year of high school, or if you're on JV, maybe even like your seventh grade year, you haven't been primarily an off-ball defenseman. So, and the other things that go into IQ is how far in advance can you see a play happening, and if you can, like Coach Alberts mentioned earlier, if you can direct a play and move a play on your end, it's going to help everyone around you move the ball forward and be an effective defense. And I got 5 things overlooked by defensemen. We'll touch on real quick. Something you can't forget. My coach, Coach Ryan at Mercier, used to mention it all the time. You're one of 7 players on the field defending your cage, and you're one of 7 on the field, and you're one of 6 in the field of play. That means 86% of your game is played off ball. Never forget that. You know, only was that 14%? I'm not good at math. I'm not in college anymore. But it's such a small amount of your game is played on ball, and it gets overlooked the most is the off ball stuff. And like I mentioned earlier, I have that noted that the best defensemen in high school struggle in college because, like I said earlier, they're not used to playing on ball or off ball. Then one thing that I've always heard it playing is you always hear the guy, and it's typically the guy that doesn't know what's going on. He always says, "All talk is good talk. Just say something." Like I don't believe in that. If you're on the other side of the field and you're telling me that your brother has a purple dog and you know some weird stuff that just is making noise, that's not helping the team and helping it be the effective group. You want to have, especially on a summer team, you want to have simple stuff that everyone knows, short things that everyone can hear and understand that sound different. And a good team is gonna have a good strong vocabulary that everyone can understand very quickly. Another thing here is never turn your back on the ball, and this really goes in all aspects of the game. From on a fast break when you're the point man and he throws the ball across the top and you got to get down the back pipe, are you spinning all the way around, or are you opening your hips and getting down the pipe? That's the kind of thing that a coach looks for when he's recruiting you. And then when you approach the ball and the ball is just, the offense is even just getting around the horn, when you're approaching the ball, getting out in your guy's hands, are you turning the wrong way to get back in, or are you keeping the ball and your man in sight? Those are a lot of things you have to think about. And even most importantly on slides is that you're not turning the wrong way. You can't, I know I talked with like McKellar and a lot of guys before everything got pulled away here, but when you're in between your man and the ball on a slide, if you're facing him straight on, you can't see behind you. You have your toes pointing towards the sidelines so that you can be on a shuffle and be playing horizontally so that you can do those things, and you're not, that's an easy way to eliminate a lot of ball watching. Then I mentioned it earlier with being able to pick off passes. Having this active stick and having your stick above your hip goes a long way. This helped me a lot. A lot of guys on my team used to tell me that I have a magnet in my stick, and it just happened to be up. Probably 25% of the time it was just because it was up. It hit the pass, even if it hit my shaft or anything, or my helmet even. I don't know. I got my head up too. So that wraps up some quick stuff that I want to talk to you guys about. Any questions? We'll open it up right now if you guys want to ask anything.
Those are good points to think about.
They all muted, or?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Coach, when you talk about being an off-ball defender as a younger guy, are you really more referring to the fact that the older guys, the more experienced defenders, are the guys that are matching up with the top dogs on offense, and you're working primarily off ball because those guys, the top dogs on offense, are typically getting the ball more?
Yeah, there's nothing to say that you're not going to go to college and be a stud and be, the number one guy taking the number one matchup every week. But typically, everyone works their way up and everyone pays their dues. So you'll usually start off as the slide guy on the crease, or you'll start off as like a guy on a pipe that's, not the guy that's going to be taking that number one matchup. So that's something that you're not used to when in high school. That was something that that you were doing.
Thanks, Coach.
Something to think about.
Anybody else? No? Alrighty. I'll talk about some basic sliding stuff next. And then we'll be able to see some really good clips about it. Let's see here. When we're talking sliding, I'm sure everyone in this chat understands sliding, knows sliding and whatnot, but talk about some basic vocabulary so you guys know where I'm coming from when I chalk this up in a few minutes. Important things: when you're the hot man, your stick is always on your offensive player's shoulder, and you have to have yourself between the man and the ball, never losing sight of your man and the ball. There's a clip later that I show you, and the guy from Notre Dame, his head is just going like this between his man and the ball the whole time, and he's anticipating a slide. And then you want to be in a relationship to the dodge and the guy dodging. You want to be in a relationship with him and have a direct relationship with your two slide that's coming from the backside. You take one step, he takes one step down, and you're constantly checking that, and you're talking to him, and you're getting those things aligned so that there's no miscommunication or a late two slide and things like that. So then next we have reads you're going to have to make when you're the hot guy. So when and where should I meet the offensive player? Every team's going to have different rules for this, but basic rules, you typically, if it's a guy in his strong hand, you're going to want to meet him at 12, 13 yards, depending on how much you trust your goalie. That's typical for teams to meet a guy. So that's really if it's a dodge from up top, you're meeting him on the hashes at 13 yards. So do the triangle math, it's a little longer, but that's where you want to meet him on a field that has football markings. And then you're going to want to meet him with contact, and you want to have him, you win your slide by making him pass the ball. If he passes the ball, you've done your job, and you've told the guy that you slid to release, and you're in the recovery process now, and then you've done your job. And then you're getting back in, and you're getting ready for the next dodge, because another dodge is going to come very soon after the whole defense has to rotate. Another read you're going to have to make are, how do I approach the offensive player? Best way to show or talk about this and not show it is, like I said, you're going to be on a shuffle, and you're going to be horizontally working back and forth. It's very important for a defenseman to have good horizontal speed and footwork. You don't have to be fast at all. You just have to be quick horizontally, be able to get back and forth. So when you meet your guy, if you're meeting him horizontally and not face on, if he turns away early, you can still get back, and you can get your stick. You have 6 feet to work with. Your stick you can have your stick almost touching the guy, and then by the time you turn around, you can have your stick back on your guy most of the time, depending if they're popping or doing anything crazy on the backside. And then, like I was kind of getting into there, re-dodge. If you stay horizontal, I have to stand up to show you this. If you're staying horizontal, you guys see me? That's too high. I don't know.
Yep. You good.
Yeah. Alrighty. So if you're staying horizontal and you show to the guy, and then he backs off, and then he sees a good chance to re-dodge. A re-dodge typically happens when he sees you approaching flat, and then he sees you turn your backs, because no one can slide now when you turn your back. And he just gets a free go to the net. So you prevent re-dodges when he sees your eyes. If he sees that you're still ready to slide, he's not going to come again, because you already made him go away the first time. So he's just going to move the ball and live to see another day. Hopefully a different guy's hot next time in his mind. What to do upon arrival of the slide. First and foremost, you guys all know this, call release, or whatever your team's vocabulary designates for the guy to recover. And then you begin the recovery process. Sliding and getting to the ball, you see a lot of the time in summer ball that happens, but there's just no recovery. And the problem with recovery is there's endless amounts of ways to do the recovery. There's simple stuff where there's basic rules, but at the end of the day, you just have to be playing lacrosse and getting guys to match back up. Or you can see, like, even Bucknell, they have like crazy complex recovery systems where it's very, very tough to understand, but those guys understand it, and it works out. So when you get to the guy, like I mentioned earlier, initiate good contact, cut the path off of the dodge, and redirect the offensive player to pull away. If he pulls away, like I said, you've won your slide, you've done your job, you're a good defenseman. This is a time in the game where you have the opportunity to control where the offense is going to move. So if you slide and you're making a good approach on him, and the ball's been whipping around, you can jam up the whole offense by making the guy go the other way or roll back. Or say that they have a set play coming up where he's supposed to dummy dodge, draw a slide, and roll back. Let him keep going, or push him to the sideline. You can do things like that when you're a defenseman and you're really thinking about it, and you've studied and you know what's going on. Are you going to do that in the summer? No. Can you do that in high school ball or college ball where you've watched hours and hours of film? Yeah, that's when you can really start doing things like that to mess with the other team. Now, like I said before, once you complete the slide and the ball is moved, you've done your job, and you get back in and you're ready to go to the next one. So before I go chalk it up real quick, any more questions from all the fellows? Everyone understands that basic stuff, right? Yeah, see a lot of nods. Cool. All right, let's see if I can share a whiteboard here. You guys see that? All righty. Coach Birch, you see that whiteboard?
Yep.
All right, let's see if I
It's
can
good.
do this.
Looks like it's faded.
It's faded?
Oh, no.
Here we
it's
go.
white.
Good?
Cool.
Okay. Working on this yesterday. All right. There's our cage.
Guys, one thing to think about, PLL starts up soon. I know Coach Beardsley said that he sent out his first D Scout or O Scout last week. These guys are running through these same, mental exercises. Get this stuff in your head. Be the smartest guy on your team. It's remarkable how many of you guys don't know this stuff, and, learn it. Make it second nature. All right, Coach May. Nice.
Alrighty. So my beautiful artistic skills, you could tell that this guy in the top left has the ball and he's going to initiate his dodge. So usually when I do this, if this was in person, I would give you guys the whiteboard and I ask you where you would draw all the defensemen on the field. And 99 out of 100 times, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get short stick right here, LSM here, short stick here, defenseman here, and defenseman here. And I hope you guys, and we'll even give you a goalie. So I hope you guys see what's wrong with this. Obviously you can see here, almost everyone's in the wrong spot. So we'll start here. And knowing that you guys think like that is how it's going to reflect on the field and how you approach guys and how you're positioned, how you have your body positioning when you're in a situation where instincts take over and you're not able to think about it as much. So obviously our short stick defenseman is going to be up top, taking top side away. This defenseman is going to be in, showing adjacent help, even though we're going to go over a crease slide here. So this is hot off the crease. He's going to be here cutting off his dodge and still able to get out to his guy. LSM, get rid of that. LSM is in a relationship, working his way down, but not too far so that they can roll back and shoot this. So he's going to work his way down as we go here. This is our two slide. We're going to say this is the two slide off the back with a short stick. This defenseman's same thing. He's going to be, and this defenseman's wrong as well. So we're going to have that defenseman there, and the hot defenseman is going to be here. See if you guys, everyone see that? Alrighty, so this is going to be our hot guy right here. This midfielder's dodging down the alley, gets a good look. We're sliding, go, go, go. Release, release. This short stick defenseman, this guy is coming in for the two slide. We're going to condense. Everyone's got to be in the house. Here's the house. See how everybody's in the house. Everyone's going to condense on the slide. And then this guy, this defenseman that just got beat is going to make his recovery now. So he's over here. He's going to come in. If they roll the ball back, he rolls away and passes the ball. This defenseman bumps through the crease. Boom. This is his new guy. And then this short stick is able to bump back out. So we all know that's as basic as basic can get in the slide world, right? All righty. So now we got that. We're going to move on. Talk about some clips here.
Beautiful. Guys, don't miss a chance to be in the house. Don't miss a chance to direct your teammates to all be in the house. That's like non-negotiable defense. Goalies, make sure your poles are all in the house.
Yeah,
It's
that's
summer
something
ball.
easy to do, guys. You know, there's no, you don't get the excuse, oh, he's a midfielder. Well, at the next level, guess what? Everyone plays defense.
Yeah, you guys got to start getting your middies back. Middies, get in the house, so you got two good poles. that's not enough to win a game. You got to have everyone kind of paying attention. So mark that.
Yeah, something that I neglected to note earlier, but it'll come up here soon, is that, you know, or it came up with, not all talk is good talk. When you get so close with you have a tight knit group of defensemen, you know, there's things that are going to happen. You guys are going to know each other so well. My buddy Will Agate, I'm sure a lot of you guys heard, he got signed with Philly in the MLL. We played together for 3 years at Mercyhurst. By my senior year, midway through my junior year, we didn't talk to each other. We just gave each other head nods, and we knew what we were talking about. So he was able to take half the field, and he was able to talk to two guys, and I was able to take my half of the field and talk to two guys. And it makes things so much easier when you're not talking to all six. And, you know, that's because we're watching film every night. We're going through things every night. We're reading the scouts, going through things. And then even in between plays, when the offense is on the other side of the field, we're talking about things like, hey, did you see that backside mumbo that they did? I'm like, okay, yeah, on play side. So when they're dodging in my face, I know that the mumbo's going on. I give him a head nod. I know that he's getting the middies on that side figured out, and they're switching or they're getting through the pick or whatever they got to do, and it's making life a lot easier. But here's a clip. Coach Albert says it all the time to the defensemen, you're out there, you got to be able to take advantage of. There's always times in the game where there's unsettled situations where you get an extra guy because the offense is subbing. And right here's a clip from the PLL last year where we get doubles and guys just crashing the ball. This guy's guy was subbing onto the field. He just jumped onto the dodge. Now they got the ball loose. They're going to keep it dirty, and their guys still keeping it dirty. You got three guys on the ball. The offense has one. They're all just watching around. And we know that they're still in the subbing game because they have an LSM on the field. And here's a great play too. Use the midfield as an extra defenseman. Over and back, we're going the other way. That is one of your favorite defensemen. That's your seventh defenseman right there, is all the sidelines and midfield line.
I've never, thought of that. Use the defenseman as guys, that over and back has happened so often to our teams. Use it against the other teams.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. This is the Notre Dame guy I think I was talking about earlier. Watch his head here. He goes crazy. So he's the hot slide right here. Watch his head, how much he's looking back and forth. He's watching his guy. He's the hot guy on the crease. This is in a 1-4. Look at this. His head's going crazy. He's halfway. He's ready to go. He's got the two side down the back side. He's ready to go. This is Notre Dame Duke. There's some talent on this field. You see, they work the ball back to Miles Jones here in a second. See, nothing there. He's still the hot guy. Ball moved. He's still hot. He shows he's back.
If you see that as an attackman, you know that this dude's ready for you. You can even make it seem like I'm super ready for you. You could be hedging, But that's stuff you could do right away, guys. Coach, what's the ratio, man? Looking at the ball, looking at your guy. Anything crazy?
Look at this guy right here. It's 50-50 the whole time. He's back and forth. When you're getting ready to go, it's 50-50. Off ball, if you're on the backside, I don't know. I'd say 50-50 too. You got to be able to check in both ways. You're never just looking at one thing. You never want to be called a ball watcher. That's like one of the worst things to be called as a defenseman. But you also don't want to be locked on your guy so much that you lose the ball and you're out of position on a slide. See how quick he goes. See how short they're making the slides? Everyone right now is condensed and everyone's in the house. Look how far down the LSM is right here. That's not even his guy. But he's covering the slide guy. And this is a good clip to talk about. See how everyone's condensed, where I think I have another clip like it too, but the recovery never has to be perfect. You know, you're never going to get a perfect what I just drew up for you guys. There's going to be different things going on. There's going to be guys popping, guys fading, everything off the crease. But if everyone's tight, you make it a lot easier to make these things happen. So we got the slide. This guy turns away. He's looking for a guy. The LSM is able to get back out to Miles Jones. And they're creating havoc. They force him into a double. He pulls it out. See, now we've won. Oh, sorry. Now right here, we've won. And now we're in a perfect set. Now we have a new slide guy. And they're in a 2-3. So that's the easiest thing to slide in. So now they have to get the ball all the way around again. And you're hoping for a shot clock or something to come up to bail you out. Otherwise, you can keep playing good defense like they were. In this next clip, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. Here's a good example. This is Maryland Hopkins. Now it's a 1-4 again. And you see these two guys are the two slides. They're sharing it, sharing the responsibility. This guy's probably going to bump over. But I can almost guarantee you, I forget what this clip is. Oh, he's getting swept. Right here, he's talking about how far down this guy is for the help. When I talked about the LSM being down, there's no reason for him to be this far down. Typically, you want to cut off the skip pass all the way across the top. In this case, he's following that rule to a T because they're in a 1-4 and this guy floats down on the wing more. But if this guy was out here and they weren't in the 1-4, he'd want to be probably around here because this guy might be a good shooter. Maybe he's not a good shooter and they're testing him and they want a shot from 15 from that guy. You never know. There's the slide. Here's the recovery. Never perfect. Watch what happens here. Something weird happens. So this is understanding matchups and all that. Typically, this guy will come in and he would guard right here. But this guy stays down. They're just figuring it out, right? They figured it out. They're all marked up. They're good to go. What do we got next? Here's something to talk about. It happens with a lot of young guys too. And especially with the speed of the game these days, a lot of guys get hung up and they get very nervous. See, some of these are goals, some of these are off the post. Just let this run. But you see a lot of stuff happening here. And I can tell you, I can give you one tip when this happens, because I've been here before too, because I played on the pipe so much where I was series scores. In this situation, I'm not chasing him to a strong hand. I'm coming out as this defenseman, let the goalie stay in the cage. I'm chasing him this way. I'm chasing him as hard as I can, but I'm not letting him go to a strong hand, that's for sure, because you can't pass in a strong hand, so at least the goalie knows that it's going to be one of those Lyle Thompson wraparound shots in this situation. So with the speed of the game now, getting hung up with a guy at X just like this, it happens. And on this one, the guy, see the defenseman kind of just stands there the whole time. Just waiting and waiting and waiting. This isn't bad if you trust the guys behind you to switch and get through all the picks and whatnot, what they're trying to do, or the shot clock can run out. I forget what he does here, but we'll watch. Just deflected pass, see? Live to see another day. You guys get the point there. You guys have this too. You can go back and watch all this stuff. And I'm not sure why I'm not getting sound, but can you guys hear the clips?
No, we can't.
No. Here's Tucker Durkin though. You guys, if you guys are familiar with Tucker Durkin, he plays for the Team USA. He was on the Florida launch and all that stuff. He's one of the best communicators ever. He's 51 right here, and he throws some mean checks too. He's probably the meanest guy on the field anytime he gets on the field. He's a big swinger, and he's always talking. You see the guys around him saying, I'm going, release, release. Now he's on his guy. Tucker Durkin's one of the guys that you guys have all this time right now. Go YouTube Tucker Durkin and watch some of his old highlights. I think I'm pretty sure he played at Hopkins. He was an unreal defenseman. He still is. Here he is against the Iroquois team. He's patient too. He's setting up checks this whole time. You guys should be working on your stick checks too. There's more to it than just being on someone's hands. It's landing good checks. Chop, chop.
I hope you guys are ready to chop some kids. Oh man. I
Look
can't
at,
wait.
it's probably a good time to double. Look at that. Yeah, he's unreal. So take a look at that. That's one of his 2018. There's one of his highlights, but there's more. And then there's a clip on here you guys should go look at. Coach Tierney from Denver goes over a crease slide and how they do it there, and he does a very good job explaining it, drawn out on a whiteboard. Good stuff. That's about all I have for you guys. I want to hear from you guys. What you guys have to say? Any questions? You want to drop some more stuff on the whiteboard?
Coach, it's Marty, I just wanted to say all the guys should definitely go back through stuff, watching video on Zoom. We got the idea, but all you guys should go back and watch those clips that Coach May brought up.
Yeah, I'm sure it would be easier to watch
and run through them and study them.
Think about the little things. Look at the off-ball guys, everything like that.
Anyone have any Mercyhurst questions? We got some Mercyhurst prospects.
Got some Mercyhurst guys in here?
A lot of these guys are kind of hoping to be, Laker. Ross and Cole.
Good stuff. Unmute yourself, guys. McKellar, nothing? You know everything? No. Remember those things we talked about being the hot guy, being on playing on a horizontal plane?
Yeah.
Cool.
Guys, we're going to do small groups soon. We're going to do another D-Talk soon. We get to know Coach May and, be ready to be mean this summer. I mean, there's definitely dudes out there. There are predators out there, dudes that have not taken a day off. Your age, be one of those guys. I like that quote. There isn't a bad way to train footwork unless you don't train. So, you guys all doing a speed ladder once a day. Be the type of kid, at your age group, there's a kid in every grade that just finds the stadium and runs those stairs for 15 minutes every day. And then the next summer, he's a D1 prospect. Like, be that kid that's training so freakishly, because that's what Performax long poles are. We want you guys to be absolute fucking killers. All right? Everyone say thank you, Coach May.
Hey, I got one thing to add there, Bert.
Thank you.
Hey,
You're out. Hold on, give me a second.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
thanks,
Thank
Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach. Thank you.
See you boys soon. Later.
See you boys soon. Can't wait to get on the field.
Yep.
Good job, Kent. Corn, good work. McKellar, I'm watching you. Later, buddy.
How you missed that?